And today we have a astounding speaker by the name of Frank Kitchen. Got a chance to meet Frank um, early this summer out in Arizona when we had an influence conference. I had seen him online and kind of heard his story and saw the different things that he's been doing. And then I got a chance to meet him personally. So you're in store for a great session today, as always. And Frank is going to share some information about himself. So I'm not going to necessarily introduce him and give his bio. I'm going to let him do that in terms of his opening remarks. And then he's going to be giving some points of views. And then the balance of the session is going to be for you, our attendees, to really ask Frank questions that can be helpful for you in your speaking business. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Frank Kitchen. The floor is yours.
Hey, thank you so much, Jason. Thank you, everyone, for being here, investing your time this morning. So I want to make this as impactful as possible because I share with people when it comes to professional speaking, a couple things. Number one, this is a lifestyle business. It's the lifestyle you help create for your clients and for the people that you work with, but also the lifestyle you get to create for yourself. And when you get a chance to live that lifestyle and teach people how to live the lifestyle that they are, quote, hungry for, it is a legal high. There's a lot of things we could do out there in the world that could get us into a lot of trouble. But to think about the fact that we have the opportunity to make people and business and organizations better with our passion, our experience, our knowledge, our just, what we have a just complete belief in. This is like one of the best careers in the world. Now, I'll be honest, it's one of the toughest careers in the world too. And many times I get invited into sessions like this or people meet me in the hallways like Jason when we go to different events, I always will get people who say, Frank, I want to be just like you. And I go, no, you don't want to be just like me. Or they'll ask me, like, Frank, how did your speaking start? So I'd like to start this morning by just getting you the truth about how I got into this business because many times I'll let you know there'll be speakers right now in this world who talk about everything is perfect, everything's been great, and that doesn't attract us to those people. We want to know, what really happened. We want to know the imperfections. And for anybody right now, as you start to write down notes today or you're recording this is, I never ask speakers what's going great for them. I always will ask them, it's like, what are some of the mistakes that you made in the past? That's the quickest way to learn is to ask, what were their past mistakes? Because the idea is we don't want to recreate the mistakes of others. We're going to make our own mistakes. So learn from those mistakes. And anything I'm sharing with you today isn't that I'm doing it great. It's the fact of I made a mistake and I learned how to not make that mistake again. So with my speaking, it's kind of scary to think about it. I have been in speaking now as far as a professional. This summer coming up in 2026 will be my 20th year. So it's kind of scary to think that I've spent more time doing a speaking thing than anything else in my life. And I've been around the speaking business itself for over 30 years now. So my speaking career started out was I was a college student leader and we used to bring in speakers and performers to the college. I thought that was great. It helped pay for school, but I got to bring in comedians, entertainers, and speakers. And then eventually that led me into going back to the college to work as a professional. And during that time, I had some of my students who came up to me and they go, "Hey, Frank, you challenge us to live our dreams. What are you doing to live yours?" So they understood I love training and development. And my students believed in me so much, they actually went out to a speaking agency, told them that I would be a great speaker, and got me signed up without me knowing. And I had this agent came up to me and he goes, "Hey, Frank, your students believe in you so much." And this agent was a speaker. He owned the agency. He goes, "I'd love to add you to our roster." So the way I got into the speaking is a little bit different than other people. I wasn't even trying to go and do it. I was a part of a couple professional associations in the college market, and some people knew me from behind the scenes, but they go, "Hey, Frank, let's get you from behind the scenes and get you, in front." So when I started to go speak the first couple of times, I thought this was going to be a part-time career. And then the first check showed up. And I'll let everybody know I'm working in education. And when the first check showed up, even with the agency taking their percentage out, it was about two-thirds of what I made in a month. And I go, you know what? I'm going to need to reconsider this. So then for about 2 years, I did some speaking on the side. And it got to a point where me and my friend were speaking together. I had to make a decision. I was taking vacation time off. I was taking personal days trying to get the speaking piece going. And I go, you know what? It's probably the time to step up and make the full-time commitment to this. So I actually left my college job. Don't do this one, everybody. But I left my college position to go chase after speaking. Now, when I left to go chase after the speaking, here's a big piece. I understood the art of speaking, but I didn't understand the business of speaking. And when I left my college, and some of you can go ahead and type in the chat if you understand this one, I left in 2007, 2008.
Hmm.
Not the ideal time to start a business. And while I was speaking, I told people I was working in the college market. I was a rock star in late July, August, and early September. That's orientation and leadership time. But then the rest of the year, I was just talking game. I was saying, hey, I'm a speaker, but I really wasn't getting booked. I didn't understand the business side. I was waiting for the agency to do the work. After a few years, I discovered, hey, you know what? I really need to start to understand the business of speaking. And me and my friend decided to leave the agency because we recognized the agency's job is to take care of the agency, not necessarily the speaker. So when we had like a retreat, we had 20 speakers in the room. And they go, who speaks on leadership? And out of the 20 people, 16 hands went up. So if anybody contacted the agency for a leadership talk on a certain date, let's call it Friday, August 15th, if I was booked, they had 15 other people they could bring in. So that's the first piece I started to understand about the business. So once we left the agency, I had to get back into the workplace. And I'll be honest, everybody, I was working some crazy jobs. I was working doing talks and presentations at the Phoenix Zoo because I had left Ohio to move to Arizona to date my girlfriend, who eventually became my wife. But I was doing work at the Phoenix Zoo. I was doing some respite, habilitation work with a person with Down syndrome. I was even stocking shelves at Bed Bath and Beyond. And while I was doing this, I still had the speaking dream. And if I one day, and I've shared this with some people, I'm working at the zoo, I'm working in the petting zoo, and I am sweeping up literally goat poop. And somebody walks by and goes to their child, that's why you get a college degree. Well, I had two college degrees. And I said, you know what? I got to refocus and get back into the speaking game. So as I started to refocus on getting to the speaking, I still had to, keep the lights on, pay the bills. We'd had one child. My wife was pregnant now with our second child. And I had been going for some different jobs. And I was always the last person in, which meant I was the first person out when they had struggles. And then finally, on June 18th, 2015, something happened. I got called into my employer and I got called in for what I thought was going to be a promotion. And when I went into my employer, they gave me a letter and it says, your services are no longer needed. Now, at this point, when you're getting fired from a job, you have a 2-year-old and you have another one on the way, you start to really refocus on where you're going and what was happening. At that point, I recognized I'd had this speaking dream. I've been chasing after it for about 8 or 9 years, and it hadn't happened because I was talking about it and thinking about it, but I wasn't putting the work in. And the piece that really pushed me over the edge was it was Father's Day weekend with a child on the way, and me and my wife had to go to my in-laws' house, and I had to go walk into my father-in-law's house on Father's Day and say, I've got no job, and I want to pursue a career in speaking. Now, I'm going to let everybody know too, my father-in-law is of Mexican descent. Our wedding ceremony was done half in Spanish, half in English. Here's a guy who didn't know English when he was first born, learned it, worked his way up to be an exec in the phone company, and I'm walking into his house. My wife is his youngest daughter, and I got to explain to him that I want to make my life run in my mouth. But at that point, he asked me, what are you going to do? And luckily, I had signed up for a speaker showcase that weekend in his town in Albuquerque. And I went to the speaker showcase, did a great job. My father-in-law was in the room. My wife encouraged me to take him with me. And at the end of the showcase, we went back to his house, and me and several other speakers were having dinner in his backyard. And he goes, hey, Frank, this is what you're born to do. What can I do to help you? And that's another learning lesson for all of us as speakers. For 8 years, I had known this man, but he had never seen me speak. Here's a guy who works in advertising and marketing. I should have gone to him. My friends in my network didn't know I was a speaker. I mean, later that summer, I was talking to a friend having breakfast in Ohio, and he goes, Frank, what are you up to? And I go, I left the college to start a speaking career. And he goes, I wish you would have let me know. He goes, we had a conference last week. I would have booked you in a heartbeat. So for us as speakers, I always share with people, and please write this down. Anytime you hear a speaker say, write it down, or you can even add this to your speech. That means it's important. And I share this with people. I go, if you're afraid to share your dream, then you're afraid to live it. Many of us fear success more than we fear failure. So we kind of keep things to ourselves and say, well, share it at the perfect time. And what I discovered that week when I did the speaker showcase, with my father-in-law. He goes, "Hey, I've got your back." Was I picked up the phone the next day and I started making phone calls, going, making emails, telling people I got fired. I have no job. I want to be a speaker. I speak on X, Y, and Z. And with that dedication and that hunger, we shouldn't have to wait to get into a corner. I actually booked out a week's worth of speaking right then and there. And I didn't have like any extra skill or ability. It's just a certain hunger or desire. And the desire was keep the lights on. And I'll be honest, when I first started this thing doing 10 years ago, I was a speaker at certain times of the year, and I was the best Uber and Lyft driver you could ever meet. And I mean, I was even so hungry, I actually booked two speaking jobs while driving Uber. So that was 10 years ago. But during that 10 years, I started to discover that your mindset is your mental cookbook. And my mindset was around 9 to 5 people. I wasn't hanging out with other chefs. I was hanging out with people who are consumers, people who are waiting for somebody to do something for them. And I recognized as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I had to be a chef. I had to start thinking about what I'm going to cook up and serve to others. And when I started to focus more on the people I'm serving versus myself, that's when the work started to come in. I also learned that I needed to build a network of like-minded people. And one of the first things that I did was I found out about this little thing called BlackNSA. And BlackNSA had this thing called the $1 Million Mastermind. And the $1 Million Mastermind was the only thing that fit into my budget. I couldn't afford an NSA membership, but I could afford that BlackNSA Mastermind. And once I signed up to that, I got to meet amazing people like yourself. And one of those people who I met in one of my first masterminds, everybody knows Miss Ann, but another person I met was John Register. And John Register was talking numbers and systems. And I hadn't known or thought about this at first. I was just like, hey, I want to go get 50 speaking jobs. But is that 50 paid speaking jobs or 50 free speaking jobs? And the mastermind challenged me to really set goals and processes. And as I started to meet people there and apply what I learned in the Black $1 Million Mastermind, then eventually I saved up enough money to join NSA. And once again, I learned from other speakers who were ahead of me. And then I started to apply that, and the work kept coming in. And less than 6 years later, I went to the NSA Influence Conference and I'd earned my CSP. So I'd gone from fired on Father's Day to 7 years later being recognized as one of the top professional speakers. And from that point, the business has been growing to where this year we just celebrated 10 years of full-time business, of which one of the great things was 2 weeks ago we were in Puerto Rico, and the client that brought me in didn't only bring me in, they brought my family in to celebrate also and present us with a 10-year anniversary award because they studied the business. So what we're here to do today is there are 20 million different ways to run your business. And I'm going to look at the chat right now and ask people for a couple quick questions here. Is just give me a Y or a yes. Has anybody here been hungry? Just go ahead and give me a Y or yes in the chat. Have you been hungry? All right, so I'm seeing some Y's popping up right now. Has anybody here been hungry for something? And with this one, you can say, yeah, been hungry for something, but you didn't know how to cook it up. So let me see if I see some yes in there. So I see some Y's, yep. And then here's my question. If there's something that you're hungry for and you don't know how to cook it up, in the chat right now, tell me, what do you do? There's something that you're hungry for, but you don't know how to cook it up. So I'm seeing research. I see ask for the recipe, find a mentor. Yep. So I'm chat GPT, look for the recipe. So here's what we're going to be sharing today. With my last name being Kitchen, that's really my last name. I share with people is I want you to be, quote, kitchen inspired, not by the fact that my last name is Kitchen, but I want you to take a certain food mindset into us and hungry. When we're hungry for something food-wise, we are unapologetic to tell people what we want, how we want it, and exactly how much that we want. But when it comes to our businesses, our careers, we're afraid of things. I mean, in the chat right now, I mean, what are we afraid of with our business? Because I want to understand who I'm working with today. I mean, what are we afraid of? I mean, why don't we share with people that we're going after the speaking dream? Because we're not talking about food today, we're talking about our life, we're talking about our business. Yeah, we fear rejection, thank you. I mean, there's people who fear judgment, we fear failure. And this rejection, this failure, this judgment, that's what holds us back. There are things that I'm doing now that I could have done 15, 20 years ago, but some of these pieces I see right now, imposter syndrome, failure, rejection, same as above, just general consistent speaking opportunities, that was holding me back. But the thing is, when we're completely unapologetic, I mean, if we were all to go out to eat right now, we'd all order something different. We wouldn't even care, would we? That's what we have to do in this business. We have to be unapologetic. And as you said earlier, we have to go do the research. But research just means what we're doing is we are asking questions. And I say ask, A-S-K means we always seek knowledge. The most successful people in this business, this industry, are always seeking knowledge, but they're not only seeking that knowledge, they're applying that knowledge. Because there are a lot of people who go to every boot camp, come to like these mentor sessions, and we write all the notes and we record it and we say, yeah, we're going to go do this tomorrow. That's what I did, but I didn't do it. It wasn't until I applied that knowledge, mistakes and all, and went to work at it. Because if you think once again, kitchen inspired and food, we only get better at cooking by constantly doing it, constantly refining, constantly tweaking. And guess what? Sometimes we're going to burn some stuff. I mean, anybody in the chat, have you ever burned something? I mean, we learn from our mistakes. So what I'd like to share with you today, because someone said, hey, share the recipe, is I'm going to share my recipe. But we all understand if we went to somebody's house, we just had Thanksgiving. If you go, hey, Frank, how did you make this? I gave you the recipe. Any recipe can be tweaked to meet your wants and your needs. So I want to share with you today at least 3 things that I've used as part of my recipe to grow my business. And then from there, we're going to open up for Q&A because I could sit here and talk all day and tell you what I think you should know. But we're here because I want to answer every question that comes up today to make sure you're able to grow your business. You're able to enjoy this legal high. You're able to go ahead and create this lifestyle for yourself and the people that you work with starting today, not waiting for January 1st, but starting today. So that's what we're going to work on. So here's what we're going to do. Jason, do I have the ability to share my screen yet? If I make a request? Oh, there we go. Perfect. So let me go ahead and get here something set up. So we're going to try to share 3 things with you, everybody, today. If anything really sparks your interest, I'm going to let you know right now. Jason, if you can pop it into the chat. My email is frank@frankkitchen.com. I want to be here to be a resource for all of you. So if you've got any questions today that you don't want to ask in front of the group or something sparks later, go ahead and email me and I will make sure I get back to you as quickly as possible. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, but anybody's here, I see Tracy driving around right now, knows that I will stop and answer any question to make sure that all of us have this opportunity to enjoy this life, which is professional speaking and transforming lives. So let me see if I can get this to work here on my end. I'm going to share a couple things. And a lot of people always will say, Frank, well, what do we have to do to grow this business? Well, the first thing we have to do to grow this business, and it sounds crazy because it's scary, is I want all of you to be what's considered a subject matter expert. Okay? So, because when I say subject matter expert, many of us will call ourselves speakers. So calling yourself a speaker doesn't mean much to people. Well, what type of speaker are you? Some people say motivational speaker. Some people say coach. Some people say trainer. That's not being very specific. Back to this whole piece about thinking about food is this. We understand that that place makes pizza. They make burgers. They make seafood. They make breakfast. They make lunch. How specific are you with what you are doing? And the number one way to start getting booked as a speaker, I tell people is if you don't know what your specialty is yet, just quite simply by going to your LinkedIn profile, your website, and announcing yourself as a professional speaker. That will change your life in a heartbeat. Because as a speaker, all we're looking to do is we are looking to just focus on speaking. But guess what? The speaking doesn't get us onto more stages. This is a business. So when you say you're a professional speaker, the professional speaker is not only worried about delivering a great speech and product, but they're trying to figure out how to get on stages. You have to understand that you are a business person and a business owner first. That's why the professional comes before it. And a profession means about 80% of what you do is not involved speaking, coaching, or training. It's number one, discovering what the ideal client is. And then once you find that client is actually closing the deal. This is a sales position. So you're a professional speaker. I mean, in the chat, help me out right now. If I said I'm a basketball player, what do you think? So if I say I play basketball, so you're probably thinking, okay, like, do you play down at the park? You play at the gym, hang out with your friends. But now watch, yeah, you play ball. Now watch what happens in the chat right now if I ask this question. If I say I'm a professional basketball player, everybody here, what are you thinking? Put it in the chat. So as soon as I say I'm a professional basketball player, what do you think? So somebody said, okay, I got NBA highest level. But what you're saying now is going to NBA. Some of you are going to probably go Google me. Some of you are going to probably go look up my contract. Some of you are going to ask, how much do I get paid? As soon as we announce ourselves as a professional or a business owner, people understand that they have to compensate us for what we do. We got people say they're a singer. Okay, you might sing at your church. You say you're a professional singer. Where do you sing? Where can I buy your record? Where can I buy that piece there? You're an author. Hey, you're a published author. You're a New York Times author. So you can see how this all works out. So we have to be willing to specialize. And for many of us, we're afraid to lose work. So we go, oh, if we specialize and say we only do one thing, I might lose work. Has anybody here gone to a restaurant? You don't see something on the menu, but you still ask them if they can make something for you to make an adjustment or a tweak? I announced that myself, I'm a keynote speaker, but even as a keynote speaker, specializing, and I keynote on professional development and professional growth. I still have people who say, hey, Frank, could you come and teach us about public speaking, how to be a professional speaker, how to build, culture. I used to be a diversity director at college. They'll ask me for that one. Can you coach? Can you train? Can you do consulting? But if you put all of this on your website, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a consultant, you look like a generalist and people just don't want to, they're looking for a specialist. So we have to specialize in what we do. Now, with this going right now, because I'm going to go over this quick, is go ahead and write some questions down and we'll go ahead and go over those in a little bit. So if this sparked any interest, so number one is just be a subject matter expert. I want you to specialize in one area of work. Now, here's the second one we're going to go to help out. And this one gets kind of scary. But we just had Thanksgiving. I'm going to see if we can share the screen here. We just had Thanksgiving. And the question for you right now is, I want you to just stop selling entrees. Because people go, well, Frank, well, how do you get better at this business? So I always like to share with people this one. I go, no meal is complete without the sides. Now, as a speaker, we always are trying to sell entrees, keynotes, workshops, half-day trainings, full day, executive long-term. But if we think about with Thanksgiving right now, I'm going to ask people in the chat or just even somebody come off of mute. You can say it off of mute. We just had Thanksgiving. What was your favorite part about Thanksgiving? What's the favorite part about the meal? I see some people thinking right now. I see Ken thinking. So Ken,
The addition of sides, actually.
yeah, no one really talks about the ham or the turkey. That's the expectation, but it's the sides that make the long-lasting impact. So for us as speakers, I told everybody, it's like, we have to start selling full meals. This is where you actually improve your profit. So as a speaker, when I first came out, I'm like, I'm just going to go speak and get off a stage. And I didn't recognize how much money was left on the side because all I was thinking about was speaking and getting that check. But as a professional speaker, we're there for impact. What's the long lasting impact? I'm watching right now. I see Jason. I know Jason, I'm just looking at your profile. You're like in the Law Enforcement Hall of Fame. So you've been doing this for a while, Jason. You can't deliver everything in 1 hour, can you? All your knowledge, all your experience. So how do I get more? And that's where we have the side dishes, everybody. I'm going to pick on Jason right now. If Jason is a keynote speaker, and let's say, I'm just going to throw a number out there, everybody, but say Jason charges $5,000 for a speech. Okay, so Jason goes and speaks 20 times that year. He makes $100,000. That's pretty good. But we can talk business later. There's a lot of costs that come out of that. So all that's not going back into Jason's pocket. But now I'm looking at Ken right now. Ken's taking notes. Ken goes, okay, well, I make 5,000, but I can't deliver everything in that hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to the client and say, hey, you know what? How about I put my book in everybody's hand at the speech? I'm like, okay. How about I come back and talk to your managers and leaders on how to apply what was in my speech and in my book? Okay, we can do that. And how about this? Maybe I'll record some videos for you. Now sell the video. So now Ken walks out. We'll just call it $20,000. He sold a complete meal. He offered that meal. So now Ken's going to go out that year. We said Jason, 5,000, spoke 20 times. He made 100,000. Ken spoke 20 times, sold those $20,000 packages. He walks out with 400,000. Look at the profit margin there. Look how much that Ken has to go. So for you, what we have to start discover is, where do I provide more impact with my speaking? How do I build up more? When you talk to potential clients, it's not just there about you to speak. You start to ask, what type of impact do you want on your people, your team, or the groups that you're working with? How are you going to make this a long-term impact? Not just, I make people smile and get off a stage. That's how you grow your business. Because once again, this is a business. Now, if you only want to go speak and that's it and go, no problem. There are people who are road warriors and they go out 200 times a year. If that's not your ideal market and you want to say, keep it down, I like to speak about 40 to 50 times per year because I've got kids, I've got a wife, I want to be around and coach the things. I start selling more meals to people and I expand out. So over the last couple of years, I've increased my profit margin by about 20% by offering more to clients. So we've got that part. And then the third part is, here's a crazy one. Does your network know? I get so many people who come to me and say, hey, Frank, I think I need an agency. I need an agent. And I go, well, why do you think you need an agent? And they go, well, that's how you get booked. And many of you have probably already heard this. The agencies don't want you until you don't need them. I'll say it one more time. The agencies don't want you until you don't need them. The agency is not there to build your career. Agencies are looking for a finished product that they can sell and make a percentage off. So many of you will reach out to agencies constantly going, oh man, that's going to be the end all say all. It doesn't happen. I mean, go to any agency website. Look to see how many speakers are on there. Look out to see how many speakers are on there in your category. There's some agencies where they have over 1,000 speakers listed on their website. So how are people going to go find you? For me, I am listed on about 40 to 50 different agency websites. And it's funny, there's agencies I don't even know that have me listed. Some have me listed as a celebrity chef. I mean, so they're selling me in a celebrity chef category. So they don't even know me and they're trying to sell. But over the last few years, only 10% of my work has come from agency bookings. Okay, so here's a guy who's a professional speaker, been doing this for 20 years. Only about 10% of my work comes from agencies. It's the work that I have to go and put in. So if you have an agency, that is great. That's just another line in the water, but don't let that be your end all say all. When I first started out, I had an agency and I was waiting for the agency to do the work. But remember, the agency is there to take care of themselves, keep their lights on. So whoever is the hot product right now, so I'm going to pick on Nima. So if Nima's a hot speaker right now, then guess what? Who are they going to go sell? Her. But look, there's 10 other amazing speakers in this group right now that they could be selling. But if the clients aren't coming asking for that particular group or their subject matter, they're going to sell what people want. So having an agency, if they reach out to you, go ahead and go and do. But remember, you have to make the phone calls. You have to make the emails. It's up to you. If you have a team that helps you out, you have an admin or assistant, yeah, make sure it's somebody who's focused on you, not trying to feed 20 mouths, 10 mouths, 100 mouths, 1,000 mouths. When you choose a side to go work for an agency, also too, find out if there's anybody else in your category. You want to be in a category of one, ideally, because if an agency has about 10 people or so, and you're the only person in your category, probably got a better chance of them going out to book you. They're there to help you out. And then here's the other one. I get really fired up about this. If agencies start asking you for money up front, just remember this, they care more about your money than you. There are a lot of groups out there trying to scam speakers right now. And they're going to say, you got to pay this to be on our website. You got to, well, agencies make money off of promoting you and getting you booked speeches. So if they really believe in you, then they're going to say, hey, will you sign up, give you the paperwork, follow through there, and we're going to take somewhere between 20 to 30% off of booking you. If they're charging you money up front, especially if it's thousands of dollars, they don't care about you. They just care about making money. So make sure that you really ask questions. And thank you so much. Yeah, I'm being real with this one here, but I want to share this with everybody. You may not be able to have an agent right now, but you can turn your network into your agents. So I always challenge with anybody that I coach or mentor, I challenge them with this one. Let me see if I can get this to play right now. This is a relationship business. And I have a thing I call it the top 100. And you can start doing it right now here in December. When I say top 100, I want you to go into LinkedIn, go on your phone, go on your email, and find 100 people that you know. Like if they saw you walking down the street, and they'd be like, hey, you know, what's going on, Jason? How's it been going? What's the family? How's finance going? What's going on in New York? They know you. And then afterwards, you can email me. I'll send you 2 templates. But you're going to reach out to those groups and say, hey, you know what? I'm a professional speaker. I'm a coach, a trainer. My big goals for the upcoming year are, I would love for you to be a part of that. And they're going, what? It's like, I speak on X, Y, and Z. When you hear of events, not if, when you hear of events that would need a speaker like me, because most of your friends have probably gone to a conference or convention and said, you know what? That speaker's no good. We need a better speaker, or connect. Then ask them to refer people back to you. That's how I get work. I make my friends, my family, pretty much my agents. I come and do presentations like this at other speaker groups because when people see me speak, they're like, oh man, he's pretty good. I get speakers who refer work to me because they understand what I specialize in what I offer with my meals, and they're going, hey, okay, I trust him. We'd go ahead and do it. So for you, as you look on the screen right now, number one, wherever you are in the world, I want you to own your local market. Every event planner, so reach out to Meeting Professionals International if there's a local chapter there. Every conference or convention center, they should know who you are. If there's a group that you love to work with, you want to let them know, I would love to be a local resource. That means they don't have to pay for a flight or a hotel to bring you in. You're already there. Make sure we reach out to our past clients. As you start bringing on new products and new information, and guess what? They already know you, love you, and trust you. They'll probably bring you back in right again. Right now, the speaker market is flooded. We got a lot of people calling themselves speakers. Yeah, they speak. You're all professional speakers. You're speaking for impact. So a lot of people don't trust these speakers now, so they want to work with people that they trust and know. So reach out to your past clients and say, hey, I speak on X, Y, and Z. Is there anybody in your network you could refer me to? Or, hey, here's my new program. I'd love to come back and work with you again. They know you, they trust you, they'll probably bring you back. Right now, my calendar from the third quarter, fourth quarter this year into the first quarter of next year, every person I'm going to speak with is based off a past relationship or a past client. It's not just the new stuff. We try to chase after people who don't know us, but they don't know you. We need to chase after people who know us and trust us. That's how business works. Don't be surprised to drop in virtually or in person. I've dropped in virtually on past clients. I'm like, hey, you have a board meeting, you have a meeting? Like, yeah. I was like, I'll drop in for 10 minutes. Because now they know that I care and I care about the impact in that organization versus I'm not just chasing after their check. I want to make sure that they're applying what I've taught them. Don't be afraid to connect with other speakers. And then here's another secret. Whether it be BlackNSA, NSA, your local NSA chapter, volunteer. I'm known to say yes to any volunteer opportunity. Why? I get to meet other speakers, and those speakers teach me things. They teach me about organizations I've never heard of before, software products, and that allows me to build my business. They'll tell me what agencies are good and which ones to stay away from. They let me know which clients are good, which ones to stay away from. This is how it works out. And as you see right there, 80% of my work comes from either referrals as far as people saw me speak on stage using Talkadot or knowing people just like you. So that being said, I've been real with you there right now for about 35 minutes, 36. I want to open the floor and turn it over to BlackNSA right now. We've got about another 45 minutes. I know we got lots of questions. I see the hands on the chins. People are going. I am all yours. I will share everything. I'll be completely honest up front with you from what I've seen from being in an audience to being a booker as far as booking speakers and performers and now being, quote, in the dark side as a speaker. So Jason, I'm going to let you kind of like, I see hands kind of going up right now. I want to make sure that I answer every question. I know we're supposed to stop here at halfway through the hour. I will stay until I answer every question.
All right. So it looks like Dacia, she has her hand risen.
Yes,
And
I do. Thank you so much. This is
Emma, was your hand risen or that was a heart? I'm not sure. If you want to ask next, you're welcome to. Oh, Dr. Kendrick. Okay.
Yep.
All
So
right.
we'll go ladies first. So we got, is it
Definitely.
Dacia?
yeah, Dacia is fine. Hi, Frank. Thank you so much for this information. I just moved to a new city, Houston, Texas. I don't
Okay.
know very many people here. I just wondered if you would give me some advice on outreach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So the first thing is, as far as outreach, is there is a National Speakers Association right there in Houston. Now, I'm not telling you to run away from BlackNSA,
Hmm.
but we do have to see people in person. With BlackNSA, we're virtual. So there's a Houston chapter of NSA. If you reach out to them and say, "Hey, I just moved here. I'd like to see if your, chapter would be a good fit," they'll probably let you come in for free for at least one meeting. Now you're going to get a chance to meet speakers, and you can decide if you want to join that chapter or not. But you're going to meet some local speakers right there in town, and there's some amazing people at that chapter. And I'll also let you know this one. I will be speaking at that chapter on April 17th. So you've got my email. Here's the other thing I always tell speakers is find out if speakers are coming to your town, like me. I will sit down, have coffee, lunch, dinner, and we will talk. I call that like the free master's class because I was just in Portland last week. Two speakers who I know, I've actually mentored both. We sat down over lunch and over breakfast, and we just started talking business. So that's what we can do. So we need to know other speakers because I said about we have to hang out with other chefs. Nothing against our friends or family, but if they have a 9 to 5 mindset or they work for somebody versus they're an entrepreneur or a speaker, they're going to think differently. These are the people who tell us go get a real job versus we understand this is a real job. This is harder than what they are doing. So what we have to do is start building your network. We are one click, swipe, or handshake away from building our network. So I gave you my email, but even the people here, once we stop answering this question, go stalk all these people on LinkedIn. Okay? Make a connection with them. Set up a Zoom meeting and start to talk and chat with these people. When I did the Black $1 Million Mastermind, that's where I first started to build my network. There's all these speakers. I didn't know who they were, and I started to find them on LinkedIn. I looked at their LinkedIn profiles. I looked at their websites. Then we started to talk. When we saw each other at conferences, we started to go. And just having that network and support changed my life. You're welcome.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Dr. Kendrick and Aaliyah have their hand raised.
Let
So,
Aaliyah go. Leah go first. It's fine.
Okay. So, Aaliyah, we're going to let you go ahead. You got your hand up. And I'm not sure if you're able to come on camera. That would be great if you can. There you go.
Yes, I can. All right. So my name is Aaliyah, and I am an AI adoption specialist. And my question with researching to local communities, because that's one thing I want to do, is start speaking more with organizations in Dallas. I guess, how do you reach out and not, I guess, without them assuming you want to do it for free?
Yeah. So back to what I said about saying you're a professional speaker. So
Okay.
I don't know what your profile looks like, what your website looks like, but this is a perception business. We have to look like a professional. We have to use professional terminology or go and do. So I don't know what you currently do, but even if you're working for somebody, but your company has, clients that have brand recognition or value, you work with that. If that's your contract, go ahead and put it on there. So if you say, hey, I've worked with McDonald's or I've worked with, these groups, put it out there. I mean, it sounds crazy. Years ago, I was on CNN for 27 seconds. But just by putting that on my website saying, as seen on CNN, that gave people this whole perception of, oh, wow. Had a friend who worked for Microsoft. He goes, hey, Frank, you come to our employee meeting. I'm like, okay. There's like 20 employees. I went in, talked for about 30 minutes. But the pictures and the videos, once they went on my website, people literally call me and go, hey, Frank, I had nothing on my website saying anything about pay or fee. Yeah, we got a question. We'd like to work with you, but I'm like, oh man, but we don't know if we can afford you because they saw the picture there. So what we all have to do first off is as soon as they see your name or you say you're a speaker, they're going to go look for you. Like I said, usually it's going to be going onto Google or going to AI, and they're going to go find your website or your LinkedIn profile. So we need to go look at that and start to beef that up to really make it look like a professional. And even on there, say, if your tagline's like what your title is, professional speaker, professional keynote speaker, professional coach, consultant, that way they're going to understand that you are not free. Now, to make you laugh even more, we also have to know how to talk with these groups. And there's a young woman who I coached, and she gave the best feedback. And I told her, I was like, I'm just going to keep sharing this with people when I speak. She goes, okay, Frank. But anyway, especially for our female speakers, a lot of people are going to ask you to speak for free. They're going to ask you to speak for exposure. You can say, hey, we die for exposure. That happens. I mean, we got Bill up there in Denver right now, so he's out there in the cold, so he understands. But when they reach out and they go, what is your fee? Then here's the first thing you do. It's like, well, hey, let's have a meeting, preferably either face-to-face or virtually. I would love to have a discovery call to learn more about your wants and needs so I can accurately, provide you a price. Now, if they keep saying, no, I just need a price, then guess what? They're just trying to hit a checkbox. They don't actually value you. They're just trying to put somebody in that slot. So you have to present yourself as a professional right off the bat. And explain, it's like, well, hey, I tailor all my services to my clients. This is the wording and the verbiage that we use. But in the case of my one coaching client, the person goes, hey, will you come and speak for us for free? Now, she's a realtor. She's like one of the first female fundraising auctioneers in the country. She's like a city councilman. So I mean, she does all this stuff. So the guy calls me like, yeah, can you have you speak for free? So her response was this. She's like, I got a question for you. He goes, yep. She goes, I've got a lot of different clients, and she's like, they pay me to leave the house. And she goes, I got a question for you. She's like, do you know what yoga pants are? And he goes, yeah. She goes, do you know how comfy yoga pants are? He goes, I can't say that I do. She's like, well, right now, she's like, I'm in my fuzzy slippers in my office. My dog's next to me. I got a cup of coffee. She's like, I'm wearing yoga pants and a hoodie. She's like, I am comfortable. He's like, okay. So she's like, you're asking me to leave my house. She's like, get all dressed up for you. She's like, so I got to get out of my yoga pants. She's like, put on some Spanx. She goes, do you know what Spanx are? The guy goes, no. She goes, well, they're uncomfortable. So like, let me explain to you about it. He's like, you don't need to explain. It's like, and then I got to do my hair. I got to do my makeup. I got to put on a dress. I got to get on shoes. She goes, the only person I ever do this for, she goes, is my husband when he takes me out for dinner. So she goes, you want me to get all dolled up, do this, leave my house, leave my office, leave my clients to come all the way down to you to work for you for free. And he goes, oh, I didn't think about it that way. She goes, to get me out of my yoga pants, you got to pay me. So for us, we have to be strong enough to understand that we have a business and we have to explain to people nicely that, hey, we have lights to, we got lights to keep on, food to pay, businesses. You can say something like, hey, it's like, that wouldn't be fair to my other clients. Or you can say, hey, I'm willing to negotiate my fee, but I speak for value. What value can you provide for me? Now, for all of us as speakers, value doesn't always mean it's going to be a paycheck. Value could be, oh, they've got 1,000 people in the room. I get to get video of that. Do you have a videographer? Can you do the video for me for free? Hey, can I get photos? Yes. Can I get the email list for people? Can I get a booth? We can always negotiate something for value. I mean, everybody here, you can give me some snaps on this one. I told you about the group in Puerto Rico a few weeks ago. They go, Frank, we don't have your speaking fee, but can we do this? They understood the value piece. I'm like, they go, we understand that you love your family. What if we covered the cost to bring your family to Puerto Rico? What if you took care of a hotel for 5 days? What if you gave you a tour of the island? And because we understand it's your wife's 50th birthday, what if we do a special birthday party for her to celebrate her 50th birthday and we'll celebrate your 10-year anniversary of your business? Will you come out and speak for us? What would all of you say? Let me see in the chat right now. They're paying me $0. But guess what? My family just got a 5-day vacation in Puerto Rico and they want to go back again.
Yeah.
And now I got another client who reached out the other day. They've worked with me before. They go, hey, Frank, we understand your family's important to you. And we want to get you before you get too big. We don't have your full speaking fee, but they have 50% of it. We'll take care of your speaking fee, pay your family's whole travel, have you come out for 2 events. We'll give you, your family, we'll pay for their travel, put you in the resort, and we'll give you a booth in the expo where you can sell whatever you want to. They provided me value. So you need to find out what's of value to you in your business right now and explain to people you are a business owner and you're willing to negotiate your fee. I mean, even for some of you, if you speak for free and you send them a contract or an invoice, send what your normal fee is on that contract or invoice and then put something on there, say one-time discount, one time only. Because as long as we keep taking free jobs, we get known in the community as a free speaker. But if someone sees on there, hey, your fee, I'm just going to have you smile there, Leah, your fee is $20,000. And you say, okay, and negotiate it down because it's a local rate and discount, and you want an opportunity to work with that group, and I'm going to go ahead and make it 10,000. They're still going to see in the paperwork that it's 20. So when people go, guess what? The word's going to spread is like, oh my God, how'd you get Aaliyah? Oh my God, she's normally 20, but we got her for 10. Versus, oh my God, you got Aaliyah. Yeah, she's free. She'll speak for you free every time. So it's how you position yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you're there you said Dallas, right? There's a North Texas chapter. For anybody here, as I start yelling these chapters out, I can make an introduction. I've spoken right now to over 20 NSA chapters. There are 33 of them. I know a lot of their chapter presidents. And many times, as a thank you to me, I'll say, hey, can you let this person come in at least for one meeting? Because what happens is you might become a member at that chapter. But go ahead and even reach out there. You want to know some other speakers because they can tell you who's there in that area. So the Dallas people, I mean, that's like one of the largest cities in the country. A lot of events that come through there. I mean, even the piece, Leah, you're like the AI person. Use AI and just go into AI and say, it's like, hey, right now we got January coming up. So we'll say January 26th. And you say, hey, conference and events in Dallas, Texas, January 2026. Now let everybody know, if you happen to do that right now, you really don't want to go do that because then you don't look like a professional. If you call somebody like, hey, do you need a speaker next week? They're like, okay, that's not professional. But I will say this, when you do reach out to any of these organizations, let's say their event's 2 or 3 months away, you can write up and like, hey, I saw you have your event here in Dallas in March. Okay, it's 3 months away. I would love to know how I can be considered as a speaker for your event in 2027. Now, the reason we do this, everybody, is twofold. Number one, if they're behind on things and they don't have a speaker, oh, thank you for reaching out. Okay, because we're asking questions. We're not trying to seem salesy. So everybody here, ask questions, not trying to just sell and say bye, bye, bye. But what we say is like, okay, if they need a speaker for 2026, they're like, oh, thank you. We actually have a slot open for 2026. Can we talk to you? Good. If they go, oh, our slots are full right now. Well, when do you look for 2027? Oh, we start looking in June. Now we know exactly when to contact them. Everybody has their own booking window. I like to reach out to groups at least 1 year in advance. And here's the one that is really just blowing away for people right now. As speakers, our superpower is to speak, for people to see us on video. Sending them a stale email like everybody else is doing doesn't allow us to stand out from the crowd. There's a whole bunch of different free video softwares out there. Could you imagine sending these people a quick video? Everybody wants to go jump onto like MailChimp and send out 5 million emails. That means we don't care. We don't value them. But if we can take a little extra time to send a personalized email with the video going, hey, Aaliyah, my name's Frank. I'm going to be in Dallas because now I know where you are in January. I'd love to connect with you to talk more about your AI services. You're probably going to read my email. And then here's the last one. Even after you put the video in, everybody, this is where you put yourself as a professional. If you've written an article or a magazine, you've been on a podcast, been on any type of interview, thank you so much for reading this email. As a special thank you to you, please click on this link. I think you'll find value in it. And it could be that link to watching you speak or video or write. Now they understand more about what you do. We're giving them a sample of who we are. So does that all help you out? Yeah. Now I'm going to stop really quick, Ken, because I saw all these questions come up in the chat. So I'm going to go back to them really quick, and I'm going to come over to you. Someone asked, can we be a part of multiple chapters? Yes, you can. I know people are parts of all sorts of different NSA chapters because some are virtual, some are in person. So that answers that question there. Nima, nothing planned for Philadelphia yet, but you're going to smile about this one. I grew up in Westchester, so right there outside of Philly. So I know about SEPTA, cheesesteaks, all that good stuff there. So next time I'm towards Philadelphia, I will let you know. I usually try to post my calendar up online every now and then on LinkedIn, but just keep in touch with me. Just let me know. I'll do that whole piece there about Philadelphia. Let's see. Yep, Tracy said you can be remember more. Atlanta, nothing scheduled for me for Atlanta right now, but I know several speakers there in the Atlanta area. Plus, you've got the Georgia chapter of NSA, so definitely reach out there. And okay, so we got the in-kind letters from Nima. Okay, we got this. Yes, I want to be introduced to Atlanta NSA chapter. So yes, I know the past president of the Atlanta NSA chapter, so I will get you connected there. So we are all caught up on the questions. So let's go ahead and go over to Ken. So Ken, what's your question?
Thank you, Frank. I have a lot of things running through my mind. Thank you about the update on the website. I I'm a Hall of Fame entertainer. I've been doing this for a while. I've been speaking for a while, but I've been entertaining as well. And some of the social media was not necessary for me because of where I stand in my business.
Yeah.
I was doing 30%. I'm a master magician, Hall of Fame master magician, and I was
Wow.
doing 70% that and 30% speaking. I've been doing speaking for 30 years, just to give you context. 45 as a master
Okay.
magician, 30 as a speaker. And I LinkedIn was not our advertising portal. And so
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now. Um, LinkedIn, does agencies go to the specifically for LinkedIn, or can you steer them somewhere else?
Okay. So let
Yeah,
me. So
that's question number
Yeah.
one.
That's
Yeah.
question one. I feel you got a couple questions. So that's number one. What's the next one?
The next one, okay, so and when I'm speaking, I have two separate programs. One is may I have your attention, please. It teaches presenters being in the business this long, and the other one is more of a motivational excellence type of
Mhm.
piece. When you first began speaking, you talked about specializing in one specific thing.
Yeah.
Would you recommend that those two are combined into one, or how do we
Got it.
shift
Okay. So let me provide clarity for everybody. I'm going to answer question two first. So when I say specialize, there'll be a lot of people who say they're a coach, they're a consultant, they're an MC, and they're multi-hyphenated, and it confuses people. So I'll say, what are the areas that bring the most work in for you? So you might say keynote speaker. So, and as a keynote speaker, you have two different keynotes. So you don't have to combine those. So for me, I've got two keynotes. I've got one based off of the individual and one based off of the organization. So when someone reaches out to me, they're both in the area of professional growth. But now I can say, hey, for associations, hey, guess what? You can come in and talk to me. I'm going to talk about how they grow professionally because everybody's there as an individual. But if I get brought into the corporate group or the organization, they don't want me to talk about making their individuals completely better and like leaving the group. They want to talk about how to make that organization better. So I frame it that way. So when I say specialize, it's in your area of expertise and what you're broadcasting to people. You can all go here. You can probably type in, yeah, I've seen it. say I've seen it if you put it in the chat right now, but you're going to people's profiles, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Uh, I'm a dog lover, book lover, writer, speaker, friend, magician, all the I don't know. And if I'm doing a search and I can ask Aaliyah here because she does the AI, that's going to throw AI off. AI is going for to see exactly how well you write, who you are, what you do, who you serve. I mean, that's the big spot, everybody, is we are professional problem solvers. What problem do you solve? Okay. Then it's like, who has that problem? So who are you working with? And then what's the unique way you solve that problem? That's what they're looking for. Too many times, now we're going to go into question one, social media, we make it all about us, and nobody's really out there looking for us. When we're doing any type of search on social media, we're searching for our problems. I mean, even if we travel to a city right now, where's the best pizza? Where's the best movie theater? Where's the best magician? I'm looking for to have my problem solved. I'm not typing in Frank Kitchen, but I might be typing in as like, hey, I'm looking for, a great speaker in Phoenix, Arizona to help my company grow. Then I'm probably going to show up. So we can actually, and I'm going to say, Aaliyah, this is where you can help everybody out. You want to go, especially now, and for anybody, it was just showed up on Speakernomics. Lethea, our president here for BlackNSA, did a whole great piece on how to better, improve your searches, whether it's either people doing Google searches for SEO or more now important AI searches because AI is being used more and more now to find us. So we have to start to write our verbiage, and we're going to go into social media here more, based off of what people are looking for, not about us, but what they're looking for. So a lot of times, if you watch any social media, now people are starting off their post with a question. And it's the question that the people that you work with or organization you work with are asking. So for me, I do some coaching for speakers. And one of the first questions that show up in a post is, are you tired of speaking for free? Now, how many of you have typed that thing in? I'm tired of speaking for free. That's your problem point. Or I'll say, hey, has anybody wanted to be a full-time speaker? That's the thing. Hey, have any of you ever wanted to make over 6 figures? Those are just pointed towards who I'm serving. I mean, so think about if we're cooking for somebody. We don't just cook something. We go and ask them, what do you want? What do you need? So when it comes to social media, that's how you have to, put yourself as this expert. Like we said, what's your specialty? So 80% of your posts should be based off of your specialty. And as you do this, when people start to do these AI and, internet searches, if Ken has, and what's the second, your keynote, Ken, you said the two keynotes are based off of,
One is may I have your attention is based on the experience of how to present and reach
okay.
audiences.
Yep.
The other
And
one
what's
is
the second one?
it's called Excellence Beyond the Drop. It's about achieving excellence beyond the
Okay.
problems.
So
Yes.
that's the piece that people are probably going to bring you in the most for. So as you're putting post out, your post should all be talked about how to be excellent. So what's going to happen is if I start going like how to be excellent in the workplace, if Ken has 500 posts on how to be excellent, that's going to show up quicker in my feeds because that's what I'm looking for. So no matter what area of social media that you're trying to go and use, and I'll get deeper into that here in a second, your post should be on that. So if you go look at a lot of my posts, they're either two things, how to be better as a professional speaker or how to be better as a professional who's stuck in their career and wants to improve and grow. They want to have professional growth. So that's got to be the post. As I said, the people are out there looking, yeah, we're going to show some of our personal life, but they don't really care. People are jumping on trying to figure out how to get their problem fixed. So we are professional problem solvers.
One final question about LinkedIn.
Yes.
So, the Instagram and the Facebook was really good with the magic, and I put little stuff on about speaking, but the connections that I have now on LinkedIn is based on the years of being a professional entertainer as well as a professional speaker.
Yeah.
Should I have two profiles or just
No,
connect those?
just combine. It's like, hey, you can say you're a professional speaker, and like you just told me earlier, like Frank, I've got 40 years in this one and 30 years in that one.
Yes.
That could be in your profile because you can kind of go and do that. But people, I'll say it right now, everybody, people are stupid. We have to be as clear and concise as possible so they can understand what's going on. As speakers, we get too cute. My last name is Kitchen. I was talking about, hey, cook up what you're hungry for. And I was doing it. I went so onto the deep end, no one knew I was a speaker. They thought I was a chef. So it's just providing that clarity. Now, back to your question here about LinkedIn and all the pieces there. I prefer to do all my posting right now on LinkedIn and Google and YouTube. YouTube because YouTube is video. People get to see me do what I do. I get people go, hey, Frank, we love going to your YouTube channel. We got a chance to see several videos of you speaking on stage. We got a good idea of who you are, audience engagement, and the energy that you bring. Great. And they can actually go search for that. And then LinkedIn, guess what? That's where the decision makers hang out. So
Mhm.
I want people who control the pocketbook. I know a lot of speakers like, oh, I've got 50,000 followers on TikTok or Instagram. It's like, has it converted? They go, no. Here's another one for everybody. As you go into, you don't have to be on every social media. Hang out on the one that's getting you the best ROI as far as people who are contacting you and researching. For me, that's LinkedIn. I know the people who build stuff for TikTok and Instagram, but here's the big one. A lot of people in the workplace cannot open TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. It's frowned upon. Can you imagine if you're working in an office and they come in and see you on Facebook? It looks like you're wasting time. Versus if you're on YouTube, I'm researching a speaker named Ken. This guy has 35 years of experience speaking and 40 plus years as one of the top magicians. Okay. LinkedIn, same thing. What are you doing? Professional development. I'm looking for information. There's great posts on here and part of the groups. So that's why I prefer to go there versus the other ones. The other one is I want to be around investors, not cheerleaders.
Right.
Guess what? Everybody on those other ones, they're just scrolling, looking for something to go and do. I forgot what the figure was. If anybody knows it, put in the chat. But I said that the income, as far as what people are doing, is 4 to 1 compared to Facebook on LinkedIn compared to Facebook. The people there on Facebook, a lot of times are like looking, and that's also a lot of B to C. So you're looking, so if anybody here is looking to coach and consult, you probably do want to go on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook because that's for the individual. If you're trying to book events, those people tend to be hanging out in the other spots. They're doing a search once or twice a year. And guess what? They start to see your LinkedIn. Generally, if I reach out to a client within a day or two, I see that they're already following me or looking me up on LinkedIn to do background checks. So
Would you
that's what,
agree that, oh, so would you're saying get a LinkedIn channel, but would you agree that on regular Facebook you run the risk of like if you put speaker and they're watching you on the side panel, they have thousands of other speakers down
yeah.
there.
So there's people talk about they'll go to Vimeo so that way it doesn't bring people up. For me, I'm going, you know what? Down the street from me, like there's a couple different, nail salons. There's a couple different vape shops. There's a couple different uh, Asian restaurants. There's a couple different pizza restaurants, burger. Competition is always going to be out there. So I don't worry. I'm like, if I have a great enough product, I mean, so for you, Ken, if I put out a video right now saying magician, I've got 1 year of experience, you've got 40 plus years. If they watch the videos, what's going to happen?
They're gonna view the 40 plus.
They're
Yeah,
gonna no, but they're gonna look at you and see how much better you are than me. So
right.
I don't worry about it too much because I'm like, hey, if they don't like me and they go for the other spot, that's just part of the business. So we can choose. So a lot of people will go to what's called Vimeo, everybody, versus YouTube, because what Ken is explaining right now is we'll put a video up for YouTube and people can watch the video, but then on the side scroller, it'll show 20 other videos saying, hey, watch these videos. And it could be another speaker. So that could chase some people away. I'm like, hey, you know what? If they're going to those people, then I need to step my game up. That's just my personal feeling about it. But there's other people who say, hey, you know what? I'll pay the few extra dollars, go to Vimeo. So if people find my video there, it's only me and they don't get to see any of my competition. But I will let you know when it comes to an event planner, especially the experienced ones, they're usually looking at 3 to 5 people no matter what. So it's going to, go and do. The big piece is wherever you decide to put video, once again, if I go to your Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, any of those things, I want to see consistency. I want to see your profile pictures the same, but more importantly, because we are speakers, I want to be able to find video of you. Because if I'm making a decision to book somebody, I need to see video of you, not just you in some little small room. I want to see an audience. I want to see the audience reacting and laughing. Like currently, I am the CSP chairperson. And with the CSP chair, one of the big pieces is for everybody who goes to earn their CSP every year is their video submission. And most of the people who don't get their CSP is not because they didn't do the paperwork right, didn't get the right testimonies or referrals, it comes to their video. And we've had people who've sent video where you can see the audience is falling asleep during the program. You see the audience is on their phones, not paying attention to the person. So if I'm going to go book you, why am I going to book somebody who's putting my people to sleep or going? So you want to see a video of you actually, giving some of your content, but being engaging. Everybody's looking for really highly engaging speakers. And even for you right now, Ken, I highly, encourage you to look up a guy's name is John Petz. He is out of Ohio. He is a former magician. Well, he still does magic, but he's also a speaker and MC.
So the last name?
Petz, Petz. Go
Okay.
look at his website and page or his profile. He's someone very similar to you,
Right.
um, where he does both still does the magic, but does the speaking. Also, he's a Hall of Fame speaker.
Yeah. Shep Hyken also is one of those
Yep.
individuals.
Shep is one of those people. Jeff Sevilico out of Las Vegas.
Okay, great. I would do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Because then you can kind of, for everybody here too, if you see a speaker who's like you, don't be afraid to go into AI or Google, type in your expertise and say, hey, who are the top 10 speakers in this category? And then go look at their pages. If they're getting booked over and over again, people always talk about it. They go, success leaves clues. So go look and see what they're doing. I'm not saying to build your page out the same way they're doing, but if that's what's drawing attention in, then guess what? Follow some of that piece. You can kind of go do some research and find out what their SEO is, some of the keywords they're using. Go look to see how their posts are going. It's like, oh, okay, I can write a post similar to that. And that's how you start to build up your business. So just go see, quote, as you said, what the competition is doing also. And I'm not
Cool.
saying to do exactly like the competition. Study the competition, and then what we do is we can borrow some things from them, but then do something completely different. What happens is too many of us will try to be exactly like that other person, and that person's got a head start on us. But see what they're doing, and then put your own special flair on it. So people are like, oh, okay, because humans are always looking for something different. So we got to draw those eyes over.
Thank
Oh,
you.
hey, you're welcome. And then is it Hermintz? Did I say it right?
Oh, you got it. You said it
Right.
right. Not many
Yeah.
people do, so I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Frank. This has been eye-opening in so many ways. And my question really is almost a follow-up to what Dr. Kendrick said. For me, I'm a transformational leadership strategist.
Okay.
But one thing that I want people to know, because I feel like there's a lot of leadership speakers, right? Transformational leadership speakers. But for me, I specifically speak about for global leaders who have a global workforce,
Okay.
because I talk about cultural intelligence and competency and how to communicate and speak across cultures.
Okay.
The problem I feel like I'm having is that I'm having a hard time getting that message across in what I do, in my title.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so when you were saying, you want to be specific, your expertise, I often say that I'm also a cultural intelligence coach, and then
Yeah.
that becomes long.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
how would you advise that I go about
Yeah.
differentiating myself from other leadership coaches,
Yeah.
speakers,
Okay.
and having my audience understand that it's the global piece that I really.
Yeah. So let me say this clearly then so everybody, and I'll say it
Mhm.
slow, is as you said, leadership global, everything you explained to me, quote, is how you fix the car. But what are
Okay.
you doing to fix the car? So if I walked into a dealership right now and I've got a car, I go, it's
Hmm.
broken. Are you going to tell me, well, we check the tires, we do the battery, do this? No, I just want to know, can you fix my car? The other part is all the steps to, what you do to get the car fixed. And that's what
Okay.
too many of us do as speakers. We don't clearly define the problem that we're solving or the people that we're working with. So
Okay.
I'll ask the question, with all these great things you just shared with me,
Hmm.
what's the problem you solve? And I say, problem you solve, what's the outcome you provide for me? I come to you to work with you. What's the outcome that you're going to give me?
Effective cross-cultural communication.
That's
Uh,
still how I'm gonna push you.
oh, okay,
What
okay.
what what do- what does that mean? Why does that
Oh,
matter to
so
my
your
business and my organization? What?
retention for your retention of your global workforce.
Got it. Now, everybody in the chat right now. So I've got, our person here, her Minson, she makes sure that we have, retention of our global workforce. Would you want to bring her in if you've got an international company? She's going to teach you how to retain your employees and impact the bottom line.
Yeah.
Boom. So now you just said that. So say it one more time to me really clearly.
Okay, so yeah, what
Retain.
can I
Yeah.
do for you?
Mhm.
I work with you to help you not only recruit the best global talent, but to retain that talent
Okay.
so that
Good.
you're, yeah,
And then how do you do that?
I do that through cross-cultural communication training. I do, yeah.
Yeah,
And
keep
then
going. Keep going.
oh, okay. Cross-cultural communication training, cultural intelligence, coaching, as well as positive intelligence mindset.
Right. So that's where we get very specific right now. You've positioned yourself as this global recruitment retention expert.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! How do you deliver that? That's the speaking, that's the coaching, that's the book, that's the.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is when we speak, that's the delivery. But I said, if we think of ourselves as the business person or the expert first, it's business person, expert first, speakers, our delivery piece. A lot of us lead with the other spot. We got to make this all about, that person that we're working with. So now, once again, once we can find this keystone, everybody, since we're talking about Pennsylvania right now, Keystone State, is all of our marketing, our business makes it so much easier. And that's the problem for all of us as speakers. We can't clearly define the problem that we solve or who we work with. So then it makes everything else disjointed, whether it be our social media, our videos, our website, our marketing, because we can't clearly define. I'm going to go back to the whole piece about being like the food person. When we talk about problems, if you go watch somebody, you'll watch a place like, I'll say, like we have like the ultra fast pizza place, and I keep talking pizza because I got kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they go, it's like, hey, pizza fast. They're defining the problem is that other places take too long for it. They're going, I can make this for you in 7 minutes. So now if I'm looking for a place, how do I get pizza fast? They pop up. So if I've got a problem with the global industry, it's like, okay, I need a global retention expert. That's you.
Okay.
Global recruitment expert. I mean, go ahead and put the pieces out. And then here's the other part, everybody. I got this from my mentor. Her name is Lois Kramer. We never want to say the word help. Because right now, if I ask anybody here, be honest in the chat. Can I help you? If I saw you right now, like you're coming to me at the mall, can I help you? What do you say to that person at the mall? Be honest. Type it in the chat. You can type
No,
the word.
no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Fine. But now if I say this, hey, Hermens, could we sit down and I can maybe work with you to get more global speaking opportunities? What would you say?
Yes, definitely.
We want people to either work with us, to teach us, or to partner with us. So even our word choice, because most people don't go to anybody who says help until they're in a corner because they feel like there's a problem. So we had a speaker and I worked at the college years ago, and I was joking, the guy's name was the dating doctor. And it goes, the students the first year goes, hey, come see the dating doctor. He'll help you with your dating life. Nobody showed up. The second year, same speaker. Hey, everybody, show up for the dating doctor, teaching you how to have a memorable date. Everybody showed up. And it was just by word choice and marketing. Because help meant I've got a problem, and most people don't want to admit to their problems right off the bat, but we do want somebody to come work side by side or partner or friend. So you find that active word. And the other piece is, guess what? Help a lot of times, people might try to go get it for free. We go to YouTube and stuff for free stuff. But you can say, I work with, partner with, collaborate with, figure out your word with organizations, global organizations. So clearly define who that organization is who want to value, collaboration and work. Because for all of us, we want to work with people who want to work with us and want to pay us. I mean,
I say brave enough.
yeah. Because why go work with somebody who doesn't even value, like, I'm going to bring you in. It's like, okay, you don't even value cross-cultural differences. But if you say, hey, I work with global organizations, global corporations who want to, or who value cross-cultural generation to improve recruitment and the bottom line, it works. For all of us as speakers, it comes down to this. To get paid speaking opportunities, people care about two things. Number one, performance. How do you either improve our performance means you're going to teach our people how to do something or teach them how to stop doing something. Or number one is, how do you impact our bottom line? How do you put more money in my pocket or keep me from losing money? So as we position ourselves, that's what people are looking for on the paid spot. Any of us can go out and speak, local library, Rotary, stuff like that, but those groups are going to be free. And those free ones, like, hey, here's a can of Coke, here's a cookie, but that doesn't keep the lights on.
Are given those tools necessary, those benefits to the speaker always necessary when speaking?
What do you mean as far as benefits?
Tools like here are the tools to help your organization do this or that.
Because generally the organizations are coming out. And this is back, I talked about selling that whole meal. So the piece is you identify what their problem is, and then you teach them all the different ways that you have a solution. So right now on my screen, I'm watching you and Jason. Now, I know Jason does consulting and long-term piece. You, Dr. Ken, may, hey, just come out and speak. You're like, hey, I got this motivational speech. Perfect. So you may come out for my employee sales meeting and that's it. No problem. Great business. You're happy with it. But then I've got Jason here who talks about financial literacy. We can't teach that in 1 hour. So he may say, hey, I'll come out and speak and do a broad view piece at your employee meeting, but I will come back out 6 times during the year to make sure we can truly implement what I started in the first session. Two different ways about going about it. And he might say, hey, I've got a course, I've got a book, I've got a workbook, and do all this piece. For you, you may say, hey, everybody, I'm just coming in, I'm doing the once in, once out. But
Mm-hmm.
hey, when you have your end of the year holiday party or you have your, gala or you have a nonprofit, I also do magic. And I can come out and be your MC and be your entertainer to make sure that's so there's different ways to approach how we go about it. But we also always want to present to the client what our services are ahead of time. Give them options to go and pick. It's just like going to a restaurant. We've all gone to a restaurant. Hey, would you like to see our dessert menu tonight? Some of us say no, some of us say yes. Hey, would you like to see the specials for today? Some say yes, some say no. So for me, I was always presenting the speech, but then I started presenting other stuff, like even right now. If someone books me for speaking, as a thank you before I even step on stage, I send them copies of my book signed. What do you think happens from there? About 50% right back, like, this is great. Can we buy these in bulk? So now I just bumped up my profit margin because now they're buying my book and they're putting my book in their hands of their employees, which the last page of the book says, if you'd like to work with Frank as a coach, consultant, or bring him out to speak, here's his phone number and email. So they're also advertising for me. So we start thinking like business people and start sharing. Like I said, all we have to do is share. Okay, we're sharing. We're not trying to make them buy it, but we're doing ourselves an injustice if we don't share all the things that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let
Yeah,
me look
Frank.
here. Yep. Go
Yeah, I
ahead,
had a
Jason.
question. Yeah, I had a question, Frank. First of all, this has been fantastic, and I really, really appreciate all the questions that are being asked. I definitely appreciate all the insights you have been sharing, Frank.
Mhm.
And for me, the question that I have is, I told you earlier, I'm a licensed financial advisor. I'm an author. I speak about financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and focusing on how can I empower the next generation of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And my question for you is, how would you recommend me best positioning, aside from being that business person, financial advisor, but
Yeah.
that speaker who can bring value to audiences who want to learn how to become business owners and
Yeah.
learn also how to build wealth, but not necessarily just be perceived as a financial advisor, because that's my main role.
Mhm.
However, speaking is where I aspire to more want to
Yeah.
continue doing and growing at.
So it's a combination of what we've been talking about already today is one is we have to get the content out there. So for
Hmm.
me, back I'll say about LinkedIn or it could be your website. I tend to post 1 to 2 times per week. For everybody is thinking
Hmm.
about social media, it's like I got to post every day because it talks about doing all these pieces.
Hmm.
The reason all the social media companies tell you to post frequently is they make money off of your content. So if there's no content out there, then people won't be on their deals. But that just creates a lot of noise. So the idea is start sharing information out there, whether it be if you're a writer, everybody, then write a blog, write post. If you're more of a verbal person, then guess what? You might want to do like, a podcast or something like that. If you're more of a video person, then pop video out. Figure out what works best for you, but you got to get content out there at a consistent basis. So one is that builds up your credibility because if you tell me you're an expert in this field and I go do a search and I can't find anything on you, I'm moving on to the next person. So that's the
Hmm.
first area there. So if you're saying, hey, generational wealth, working with youth, I need to see some posts out there telling youth how to get better and financial security and pieces like that. Back to the piece about specialization. You can call it a title or a description, but we need to position you as instead of just being, quote, the financial literacy person, maybe you're the financial literacy person for, under 25. You're the financial literacy person for under 25, something's in
Hmm.
New York City. As people, we love to go to people where we specialize. I mean, anybody in the chat here, anybody been to the casino before? Casino, cruise ship? Yeah, we've all been there. And have you ever gone to the spot where they have either a buffet or a steakhouse? Now I'm going to ask this question in the chat. If I'm getting a steak, where am I going to get that steak from? The buffet or the steakhouse?
Steakhouse.
Steakhouse. Now, if you've
Mhm.
been on a cruise ship or at a casino, guess what? The buffet and the steakhouse share the same kitchen. Took my family on a cruise. Guess what? My son got steak that night for dinner. 2 hours later, guess what's up in the buffet? The steaks that people didn't get that night, but the people paid the premium price. So the case is for all of us, we have to present ourselves as the steakhouse versus the buffet. Too many of us as speakers present ourselves as being this buffet. But as we specialize, so here's the thing, and I'll share with everybody here, been talking to my team behind the scenes. Imagine this. Are there anybody here who are parents, especially parents of kids under 18? Okay. So Hermance, I'm going to ask you to come off of mute and I'll ask you the question. I could say, hey, you know what? I'm going to write a book on how to be a professional speaker, or I'm working on a book in 2026 on how to be a parent speaker. Would you buy the speaker book or the parent speaker book?
Oh, the parent speaker book.
Because that's calling to you.
Yeah.
So Jason, that goes back to you. Whoever your ideal group is that you want to work with or really likes you, the way you market, the way you write and present yourself has to be targeted towards them. I tend to work with parent speakers or speakers of color. Or because I grew up in a single family house with my mom and a lot of women, I tend to work with a lot of female speakers. That's just something that I've gone, but then people are like, oh, that's the guy who you go to. Yeah, could I work with everybody? Yes. But when you become a specialist, that actually draws more want and need for you. If we're too general, so Jason, you answered your question. You said, hey, this is the group that I want to work with. Be so bold to put that in your marketing. It's like, I love working with these people or these groups. This is why I want to work with you. And once we do that, wow, all these other people are here talking about, oh, generational wealth or finance. But like I know somebody right now goes, Frank, I work with young men between 18 to 25. Can he work with people under 18 over 25? Yes. But he's gone so deep into it. There's another person I know. This sounds crazy. He is a financial advisor for the owners of tattoo shops in Oregon. How specialized is that? But he has pretty much every tattoo parlor in the state of Oregon working with him because he was not afraid to go so bold to say, hey, this is who I work with.
Hmm.
So once we can provide that clarity to people, because there's people who are out there who are looking for something specific, and the more specific you can make it, the better you're going to draw people. But people are like, oh, I'm afraid to niche down. Guess what? You can niche down and still niche out. So when I first started out, I was a youth leadership speaker for people in colleges. Did that. But when you do that really good as a great job, the next group comes like, oh my God, you're so good working with the college students. What about the professionals who work with the college students? Because once you're gone, we need to know how to work with them. So then I got professionals. Okay, cool. That's in my first area, my low hanging fruit. But then someone goes, man, you work with the professionals. That's so good. Will you come work with our government employees because the college is a part of government? I'm like, okay, start getting government employees. And someone goes, man, my husband and wife works with this group as the library. It's like, I've never worked in a library before. But then and then all of a sudden someone's like, oh, that's really good here, but we were in a hospital group. Can we get the hospital? So it's funny. It doesn't really limit you because if people see something really good, they're going to come and ask you, hey, can you make a quick tweak or adjustment for us? And it'll work out. But the case is for everybody here, when you start to write your description to go and do, where's the majority of your work coming from?
Mm.
Because we're trying to chase after all these people, but we have to understand we can't serve everybody. But at the same point, there's nothing on my site right now that says youth leadership. But that's where I started. Guess what happened this year? 3 youth leadership groups still reached out to me and said, hey, will you come talk to our leaders? It didn't hurt me, but it says on there, it goes, Frank works with, ideally, if you look stuff up on AI and SEO, goes, I work with, professionals between, 25 to 45. The groups will still find you. As long as we deliver a great product, people will find you. And if they love what you're serving, they'll ask you if you can tweak it or adjust it for them. So that's our main thing is just deliver a quality product and put out quality content online so people can find you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that feedback.
Yep.
And we are closing towards the end of our event, but we
Can we do one more?
certainly.
because Ken's hand went back up, so I know, so I don't want to leave any questions unanswered.
I just have a quick thing, and just say yes or no on this one.
Okay.
You said something about the CSP. Would it be inappropriate to ask those questions right now, or should I just wait?
Let's go ahead and ask a couple because people here probably want to understand what that is. So,
Okay,
Jason, I know we've got about 6 minutes here, but if I can, I'll answer. I promise to answer quick.
real brief. So, as a professional performer, everything you wanted footage of us doing our thing.
Mhm.
Um, in my business, they don't show audience reaction.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's my biggest beef. So recently, I've been I just did a accounting firm where I had a camera at the audience and
Yeah.
on myself,
Yes.
so you can see the interaction. Plus, I perform magic to get the engagement. That's what I'm working on in reference to presenting, because
Yeah.
all the footage of me on stage is me on stage.
Yeah. So when it comes to video, people ask because some people are like, well, we're at a government group or a youth group, and you can't film the audience,
Yeah.
but you can mic the audience
Mhm.
so we can hear those reactions. For everybody here as a speaker, if there's a point where someone yells something from the audience, then we can stop and say, "Oh, what's your name?" Sue. Okay, Sue, because you're still on stage. Sue. Okay, everybody, let me tell you what Sue just said. So I can still see the engagement there. If I'm micing the audience, I can hear the laughs, I can hear the applause. So we just have to watch, how we go and do it
Right.
because that's how it is. And for people who are asking, during the CSP process, Certified Speaking Professional, there are currently only 600 people, a little less than 600 on the planet who have this certification. It's a designation, it's the highest thing you earn in the speaking industry. Only about 1,000 have ever earned it since it got created in 1980. So we always encourage people to go for it to say, hey, I'm one of the top 600 in the world as far as the way I run my business, my ethics, and I've been peer reviewed by other CSP and Hall of Fame speakers. So it's, if you want to prove to yourself a lot of self-validation that, hey, I'm the best at what I do, we always encourage people to go for it. But as you said, with this video piece, when people do submit, well, they'll say, hey, I'm not allowed to shoot the audience, but we can still pick up engagement on the video based off of I can hear the audience because sometimes we just mic ourselves. We'll just mic the audience to go and do.
Well,
Uh,
they let me definitely put the
yeah,
camera on them. So
yeah,
yeah.
and then also we have to make sure we respond back. We have a lot of people who send virtual. So even if someone watched this recording today, because
Yeah.
people are asking when is the recording going to be available, as I say, hey, everybody, put it in the chat. And then you heard me. I go, hey, Nima, thank you for
Mm.
that one. Hermens, thank you for. They're knowing that I'm interacting. So it's just a way we better, showcase or show ourselves on stage.
Thank you.
Okay, so sorry for jumping in. I was just gonna
Well,
say
thank you.
because
Yeah.
I definitely want to go for CSP.
Mhm.
I did a lot of virtual events and speaking during COVID
Mhm.
and even prior to that. And so a lot of my footage is virtual and webinars and
Yeah.
workshops,
Mhm.
but not on stage. And so
Yeah.
that was my fear.
No,
Should I wait till I have more
no.
stage work?
We've had people send completely just virtual piece, but what happens is when you do that virtual piece, you either have to send us the transcript so I can see that you're interacting with people in the chat, that you're responding to questions, in that chat.
Mhm.
Or when you send the video, if you choose to use your virtual, make sure you're saying the people's names out. So you've watched me. I've been doing that today. Hey, hey, come off of mute. That way I can hear it so that I know you're interacting with the people. So we've had plenty of people who've done, like when I went for my CSP, I
Mhm.
submitted one video of me on stage and one video of me virtually.
And how many do you have to submit?
So with the videos, you submit either one video or two videos. There's one 40 to 45-minute video, unedited, uncut, or two videos that are each 20 to 25 minutes, unedited, uncut, to give a better example of who you are.
Right. When I spoke to when I spoke to Shelby, I emailed her and I
Yeah,
said,
Shelby's great.
I said they switched views. It's the same. They had two cameras, so they were switching views from the audience to
Yeah,
me, but you could still see me
yeah,
in
that's
both
fine.
pieces. Okay. And it was a hybrid. It was
Yeah,
50 people inside the office, and
yeah,
then it was on a webinar.
yep. So the big piece is it's video that you edited. We're not looking for speaker reels. For everybody here, you hear me like, go get a speaker reel, get a speaker reel.
Oh,
Many of the agencies and the video people out there going, hey, that video makes you look perfect. We want to see a true, genuine speech. That's why the CSP process, we go, hey, we're preparing you to get more speeches and to position yourself as a professional.
Mhm.
So if they do a hybrid where they go back and forth, that's fine because you're like, hey, this is what the person did, so you could see both. We got no problem. But we got some people who will like edit out and like skip all around the videos. Like, no, that's an edited video. So don't
Yeah,
worry so much about that. The other
it's
piece
one full
is,
piece. It is
yeah,
one full
yeah.
45
Big,
minutes.
the big piece is we have to be able to clearly see you when we do see you, because we've had some videos where the person's teeny, teeny, tiny, and we can't see your facial expressions and how you're going to do. So just make
Oh,
sure that we have a clear view of you. And then once again, we can see some of the interaction from the audience.
it's right there, buddy.
You're you're
So
perfect.
I
Yep.
went to your seminar on that, so I was like making
Yep.
sure.
I know we met. That's why I was saying. Okay. And then I got, is it Alinda?
Yes,
Yes.
I have a unique situation. I think it's unique, and I'm sure you can respond to me to give me a solution. I'm a transformational specialist, and I work with women, helping them to think differently. I can actually come in on camera, but I'm in my
Yeah.
car.
You're fine.
Um, and to think differently, to get unstuck from where they are and move forward. So I go into a subterranean dive, deep dive that allows emotions to come forward. When video, I don't feel like I can videotape those sessions because then that would cause the individuals that are participating to hold back on what they're feeling and their emotions. So, how would you resolve that?
Okay. So from what it sounds like, are you doing more coaching or are you actually doing speaking?
Speaking and
Okay.
coaching.
Okay.
But
So
I'm speaking of, having
yeah,
a summit soon.
so some
Yeah.
deeply personal and emotional pieces, so you don't want to have them there. Well, when we go for the CSP, we say, hey, give us your best 20 minutes. So, or your best 40 minutes. So if there's a point where you go, hey, you know what? There's a lot of personal information on here that I don't want shared. You could send two videos. Let's find like at least 20 minutes of your videos where we're not having people with the true audience. When I say interaction, it's not the interaction of saying, hey, you know what? I just had this tragedy in my life and I need your help. Yeah, we don't want to get that information out there. But if we see you
Yeah.
actually teaching your content, and then you say in the submission piece, hey, you're going to see 20 minutes of the first part of my presentation. It stops at the 20-minute point because I do a 10-minute Q&A where it's deep, dive questions, and out of respect and, disclosure, I don't do that. Then it's going to pick up again. You'll see another part of the video for 20 minutes where I do my closing. You can do that
Yes.
because that's not
That
edited.
makes sense.
That's explaining. So, for example, we've had some people who are very highly interactive speakers, and they'll do like an activity for 20 minutes, and the activity, the speaker's not speaking, but people are talking in the room. We're like, that doesn't showcase you speaking.
Mhm.
So they wouldn't get their CSP. But then they came back like, hey, here's my 20 minutes where I set up before they did engagement. I cut out the engagement piece and I came back up to do what they could have learned from that area. We accept those people. So that's how we work with it. That's the only editing that we allow. We just don't want to have a highly edited piece where it looks like a movie trailer, where all of us have gone to a movie where the trailer looks excellent, we get into the movie and the movie's terrible. So we tell people it's like, hey, we're trying to prepare you for a client, and the idea for the CSP video is this. Is this a video that you would share with a client to get booked? If your answer is no, don't submit that CSP video. We're teaching people how to get booked more as a speaker. So when you look at the video, if it does not wow you, it's not going to wow the committee who reviews the videos. It's not going to wow a client. So
Excellent.
that's the best way
Excellent
to think about
response.
it.
Thank
Yeah.
you for that explanation. That was wonderful. Thank you.
You
Great.
are welcome. So with
Yes.
that being said, for anybody here, I'm going to turn it back over to Jason. I see some people talking right now. I'm willing to sit down with people for at least 30 minutes on a Zoom call. Just shoot me an email and we can talk some more, can continue the conversation. But I want to be respectful for everybody's time. So Jason, I will let you do the wrap up. If I need to hang out a little bit afterwards, or you stop the recording and talk a few more minutes, I've got about another 15 minutes I can hang out. But I just want to thank everybody for having me here today. I mean, this means a lot for me because I was in the shoes of many of you a few years ago. Black NSA poured into me and got me here now. So this is my way of quote paying back. But the big one is my wife always makes this comment. She goes, we're in this world where we play King of the Mountain. And the ultimate objective of King of the Mountain is to knock people off. She goes, why do we have to do that? She's like, why can't we just pull us all up to enjoy the view? So I want all of us to enjoy this view together to where we get to transform the world in a positive way.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And as we always do, we want to just take maybe two individuals who would like to share some of the things that resonated well with you with what Frank had shared. And if you take a 60-second opportunity to give some feedback and maybe a testimonial as to what today's program meant to you. We'll take two individuals if you choose to.
Oh, I'll go since my microphone's already off. Uh,
Okay.
Thank you so much, Frank. Just yesterday, I met with one of my mentors because she was like, "So, do you have your plan for 2026? Like, what are you going to be doing?" And we met and discussed, and I shared how I really, because I do a lot of consulting, but I really want speaking to generate the consulting, the lead, be my form of lead generation. And so we did all of this. And then today, I didn't even literally it just popped on my phone. It wasn't on my calendar that this session was going to happen. So I don't believe nothing is a mistake in the universe. And I so appreciate every piece of wisdom that you shared, especially the part about value. Because I struggle, I know I have value to give, but I struggle with the idea that other people are going to see value in what I do.
Mhm.
And so the wording that you shared was really gold for me. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I'm
And
look again, if you can put your email address again in the chat,
sure.
because I jotted it down, but I don't want to miss it because I do want to reach out to you and speak to you, get that 30 minutes and speak to you some
Yeah,
more.
definitely.
Okay, thank you.
I will go as well. It was this is very interesting to me because the sharing that you do, Frank, is crazy. In my business, we are a business of secrets. You know, we're not letting you see the secrets. We're just showing you the secrets, and the information that you're giving out is great. I took away the ask. You know, always seeking knowledge, and that was one of my things. I'm always not that guy that want to um, ask for that knowledge, or even um, I'm not used to people giving knowledge. So I thought that was really good. Subject matter expert, that mattered. That said a whole lot to me because I was worried about being that expert. I have the credentials to be that expert, but to define it like that, just that you're that guy.
Mhm.
You know, that was important to me, and it was something else you said regarding defining the outcome,
Mhm.
defining the outcome to the client, and then move to serve the it's like
Yeah.
yeah, this is what I can do for you, and then tell them what to do. The entrees versus the side dishes
Mhm.
is very important because many times we're focusing on the big hit, and we have so much more. I have so much more. I have workshops, but I don't approach those, but they are available. So the entree versus the side dish meant a lot to me.
Thank you. And I want to jump on that with Ken and then Herminska. You both said two things that really sparked me going. So thank you everybody for being here. Is Ken, you have such a great opportunity because you can be the keynote speaker and everybody's going to see how well you perform on stage. But then
Mm,
for a breakout where it allows you to have more touch points with the people who are there because they want to see you in the hallway and know more. This is where you can also do your piece about that confidence and that presentation piece. Because
right.
so many leaders and organizations we have to be on Zoom calls now and go and present and go in front of leadership. So I had an event, I told you I went in Puerto Rico. I did my normal keynote, but because these are all teachers and educators, they go, "Hey, Frank, will you do your workshop on how to be a better public speaker?" So I came back. That's not really listed on my website, but it's something I got an expertise in. And people love having that opportunity because once they see you perform on stage, now, if you can teach them that part, and that's the whole piece about being a subject matter expert, is they don't want what they can find on AI or Google. They want to find what they can get from Ken. They want your philosophy, your ideas, your spin on it. I mean, Jason knows about this. When we can create scarcity, everybody, that's when we get booked.
Right.
It can't be information we can get from anybody. They can only get it from you. And that's when they start moving dates because they know they can only get it from you. So don't sound like anybody else. Sound like the best version of yourself. And then Hermens, here's a piece too about value. We have our CSP summit next week. And one of the parts about getting your CSP is 600 people in the world. We have an exclusive conference just for CSPs and CPAEs, the Hall of Famers. There's only 140 slots open. So, I mean, it's like first come, first serve. And we go there, they're teaching us how to get better at our business. And a couple of years ago, they made a comment 60% of the room was female speakers. And they go, ladies, you must value yourself. And they go, the first way to value yourself right now is, and they made it to go, raise your fee. Because they're showing that women were being offered less than men. But many of you have more knowledge, experience, and expertise than we do and will ever have. Many of the CEOs and organizers and people who are holding the wallets are female coming into these industries now because I worked at a college. Most of the people in college right now are women. So they go, we shouldn't devalue ourselves by going. And for anybody here, there are many organizations that told me to my face, the reason they didn't book me was because I charged too little. Because the perception was if you charge that fee, then you're not good. The perception was the higher fee, higher value. I mean, think of it. We've all gone to stores and we see something, it's like, ooh, there's that price. It must be really good, even though we know it's not good, later on. So when you talk about valuing yourself, that's that piece. Don't be afraid to state your fee because you can always negotiate your fee. But for everybody here, if you throw out a fee and the people say yes right away, then that means your fee's too low. Keep your fee going up until they start to question it or negotiate it. And that's when you start to find what they truly value in you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. On behalf of Black NSA, I want to thank, first of all, the attendees, our membership for joining. Hope you found value in it as I did. And then also special thanks for Frank for taking the time out of his busy schedule to pour into us as an organization. And one of the key things he said when he was aspiring to become better at what he did, Black NSA was a proving ground for him. And now look at him giving back. So just a testament to his integrity and also just his ability to say, I want to share because people have paved the way for me. So thank you very much.
Hey, thank
Have
you,
a great
everybody.
day, everyone.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much. I appreciate it.
Yep.
All
And
right.
I will be responding to the emails, everybody. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. That's
All
what's
right. And my
awesome.
namesake, Jason Armstrong. All right. Take
All right.
care.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, Tracy.
Bye bye now.
Bye.
Thank you.